Ebrahim Raisi, the current president of Iran, is a figure who embodies the complexities of Iranian politics. Born into a religious family in Mashhad, Iran's second-largest city, Raisi's life has been intertwined with the currents of faith and revolution that have shaped modern Iran. His early years were marked by religious studies, culminating in his appointment as a prosecutor in Karaj at the young age of 25. This marked the beginning of his rapid ascent within Iran's judicial system. Raisi's unwavering commitment to the principles of the Islamic Revolution propelled his career. He held key positions including Prosecutor General of Tehran and Attorney General of Iran, demonstrating his staunch adherence to the hardline ideology that defines a significant segment of Iran's political elite. This background, however, is not without controversy. Raisi's role in the mass executions of political prisoners in the late 1980s remains a dark stain on his record, a source of condemnation from international human rights groups. Despite the shadows cast by his past, Raisi's reputation as a pious and incorruptible figure resonated with a segment of the Iranian population. This image, carefully cultivated through his public appearances and pronouncements, played a crucial role in his political ascent. His appointment as custodian of the Astan Quds Razavi, a powerful charitable foundation, further solidified his standing as a man of faith and influence. Raisi's first foray into presidential politics came in 2017, where he challenged the incumbent Hassan Rouhani. Despite a vigorous campaign that emphasized his commitment to social justice and economic revival, he ultimately lost to Rouhani's more moderate platform. However, this defeat did little to dampen his ambitions. Raisi remained a prominent figure in Iranian politics, waiting for the right moment to re-emerge on the national stage. The 2021 presidential election presented Raisi with a new opportunity to capture the highest office in Iran. This time, with the backing of the conservative establishment and facing a fragmented opposition, Raisi secured a decisive victory. His inauguration in August 2021 marked a turning point in Iranian politics, ushering in an era defined by a more hardline approach to both domestic and international affairs. Raisi's presidency is characterized by a blend of ideological conservatism and pragmatic maneuvering. On the one hand, he has reaffirmed his commitment to the core tenets of the Islamic Revolution, emphasizing the importance of social justice, national sovereignty, and resistance against Western influence. This is evident in his rhetoric, his cabinet appointments, and his policy pronouncements, all of which signal a return to a more ideologically driven approach to governance. However, Raisi has also demonstrated a degree of pragmatism, recognizing the need to address Iran's pressing economic challenges. The country has been grappling with high inflation, unemployment, and the impact of international sanctions, issues that require pragmatic solutions. Raisi's economic policies have focused on boosting domestic production, strengthening ties with regional partners, and seeking to mitigate the impact of sanctions. This pragmatic streak is also evident in Raisi's approach to foreign policy. While maintaining a firm stance against what he perceives as Western interference, he has also expressed a willingness to engage in dialogue and diplomacy. This is particularly true in the context of the nuclear negotiations, where Raisi has signaled his desire to revive the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, while also demanding guarantees and concessions from the United States. The Iranian nuclear program has been a source of international tension and diplomatic wrangling for decades. Raisi's presidency has brought renewed focus to this issue as his government navigates the complex web of sanctions, negotiations, and regional security concerns. Raisi has inherited a nuclear program that has advanced significantly in recent years, particularly following the U.S. withdrawal from the JCPOA in 2018. Raisi's approach to the nuclear issue is characterized by a blend of assertiveness and a willingness to negotiate. On the one hand, he has insisted on Iran's right to develop its nuclear program for peaceful purposes, arguing that the country should not be subject to double standards or pressure from Western powers. This stance reflects the deep-seated resentment within Iran regarding the perceived injustices of the international order. On the other hand, Raisi has also expressed a willingness to return to the negotiating table and revive the JCPOA. He has stated that Iran is prepared to resume compliance with the agreement if the United States lifts sanctions and provides guarantees that it will not withdraw from the deal again. This willingness to negotiate, however, is tempered by a degree of caution and skepticism, reflecting the deep mistrust that exists between Iran and the West. Raisi's balancing act on the nuclear issue is further complicated by the regional security environment. The perception of a growing threat from Israel and the United States has fueled a sense of vulnerability within Iran, leading to calls for a more robust deterrent capability. This dynamic has contributed to the expansion of Iran's nuclear program, making the task of reaching a diplomatic solution all the more challenging. The Iranian economy has been under considerable strain in recent years, battered by a combination of internal mismanagement, external sanctions, and global economic headwinds. Raisi's government faces the daunting task of reviving an economy grappling with high inflation, unemployment, and a depreciating currency. Addressing these challenges is crucial for the legitimacy and stability of Raisi's presidency. Raisi's economic policies have focused on a mix of state intervention and market-oriented reforms. He has emphasized the need to boost domestic production, reduce reliance on imports, and promote self-sufficiency in key sectors such as agriculture and energy. This approach reflects a belief in the importance of a strong state role in guiding economic development. At the same time, Raisi has also acknowledged the need for greater private sector involvement in the economy. He has spoken of the need to streamline regulations, improve the business environment, and attract foreign investment. These pronouncements, however, have yet to translate into concrete policy changes, as the conservative establishment remains wary of liberalizing the economy too rapidly. Despite the challenges, Iran's economy also presents certain opportunities. The country possesses vast natural resources, a young and educated population, and a strategic location at the crossroads of Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. Harnessing these assets effectively will be essential for Iran to achieve sustainable economic growth and improve the living standards of its citizens. Section 5: Social Policies Between Control and Change. Iranian society is a tapestry of diverse cultural, religious, and social currents, often navigating the tensions between tradition and modernity. Under Raisi's presidency, there's been a period of heightened scrutiny and control over social and cultural expression, reflecting the conservative values that he embodies. This has led to concerns about the narrowing of space for dissent and individual freedoms. Raisi's government has taken steps to reinforce social norms and values that align with the principles of the Islamic Revolution. This is evident in the stricter enforcement of dress codes, the suppression of dissenting voices, and the promotion of a more conservative interpretation of Islamic law. These measures have been met with resistance from segments of Iranian society that aspire for greater personal freedoms and social liberalization. However, despite the emphasis on social control, Iranian society continues to exhibit a degree of dynamism and change. The rise of social media, the increasing access to information, and the growing aspirations of young Iranians are creating new avenues for expression and engagement. These trends pose a challenge to the government's efforts to maintain strict social control. The interplay between the government's desire for control and the evolving dynamics of Iranian society will continue to shape the social and cultural landscape of the country. Balancing the demands for greater individual freedoms with the imperatives of maintaining social order will be a key challenge for Raisi's presidency. Iran under Raisi has continued to assert its role as a major player in the Middle East, pursuing a multi-pronged strategy to enhance its regional influence. This involves strengthening alliances with like-minded actors, providing support to friendly movements and governments, and projecting military power in key strategic areas. Raisi's vision for the region is one where Iran plays a leading role in shaping the regional order. One key pillar of Iran's regional strategy is its alliance with the Syrian government under Bashar al-Assad. Iran has provided crucial military and economic support to Assad throughout the Syrian civil war, helping him to maintain his grip on power. This alliance has allowed Iran to expand its influence in Syria and establish a strategic corridor stretching from Tehran to the Mediterranean Sea. Another important element of Iran's regional policy is its support for Hezbollah in Lebanon. Hezbollah, a Shia Islamist political party and militant group, has been a close ally of Iran for decades, receiving financial, military, and logistical support. Hezbollah's military capabilities and political influence in Lebanon serve as a crucial asset for Iran in its regional power projection. Iran's regional influence extends beyond its traditional allies in Syria and Lebanon. It has also cultivated ties with Shia groups in Iraq, Yemen, and Bahrain, providing them with varying degrees of support. This network of allies and proxies enables Iran to project power across the region and counter the influence of its rivals, particularly Saudi Arabia and the United States. Relations between Iran and the West have long been characterized by mistrust, animosity, and periods of heightened tension. Raisi's presidency has done little to alleviate this dynamic, as his government views the West, particularly the United States, with deep suspicion and skepticism. This stems from a historical narrative that perceives the West as having sought to undermine Iran's sovereignty and thwart its aspirations for regional power. The Iranian nuclear program has been a major point of contention between Iran and the West. Western powers have accused Iran of pursuing a clandestine nuclear weapons program, while Iran insists that its nuclear activities are solely for peaceful purposes. This disagreement has led to a series of sanctions imposed on Iran, crippling its economy and fueling resentment among the Iranian public. Despite the deep mistrust, there have been intermittent attempts at dialogue and diplomacy between Iran and the West. The JCPOA, signed in 2015, was a landmark agreement that aimed to curb Iran's nuclear program in exchange for sanctions relief. However, the U.S. withdrawal from the deal in 2018 dealt a major blow to this diplomatic effort. Raisi's government has expressed a willingness to revive the JCPOA, but only if the United States lifts sanctions and provides guarantees that it will not abandon the agreement again. This stance reflects the deep skepticism that Iran harbors towards Western intentions. Whether a diplomatic solution can be found remains uncertain, as both sides grapple with deep-seated mistrust and conflicting strategic interests. As Ebrahim Raisi's presidency progresses, the path ahead remains uncertain, marked by both opportunities and potential pitfalls. The choices he makes in navigating the complex domestic and international challenges facing Iran will determine whether his tenure leads to greater stability or further turmoil. His success in consolidating power, managing the economy, and addressing social demands will be crucial for his long-term prospects. One key factor that will shape Raisi's presidency is his ability to consolidate power within the Iranian political system. The Iranian system is characterized by a complex interplay of competing factions and power centers, each with its own interests and agendas. Raisi's challenge lies in balancing these competing forces while asserting his own authority and vision for the country. Another critical determinant of Raisi's success will be his handling of the Iranian economy. The country faces a myriad of economic challenges, including high inflation, unemployment, and the impact of international sanctions. Raisi's ability to revive the economy, create jobs, and improve living standards will be crucial for maintaining public support and ensuring social stability. Furthermore, Raisi's response to the evolving social and cultural dynamics within Iranian society will play a significant role in shaping his presidency. Iranian society is undergoing a period of rapid transformation, driven by factors such as technological advancements, globalization, and shifting values. Balancing the demands for greater individual freedoms with the imperatives of maintaining social order will be a key challenge for Raisi's government. Ebrahim Raisi's presidency represents a pivotal moment in Iran's history. His hardline ideology, his commitment to the principles of the Islamic Revolution, and his assertive approach to foreign policy mark a distinct departure from the more moderate path pursued by his predecessor. The choices he makes in the coming years will have profound implications for the future of Iran, shaping its domestic trajectory and its role in the regional and international arena. Raisi's presidency is unfolding in a context of heightened global uncertainty and geopolitical flux. The rivalry between the United States and China, the resurgence of great power competition, and the ongoing conflicts in the Middle East create a complex and volatile environment for Iran to navigate. Raisi's ability to manage these external challenges while addressing the pressing domestic issues facing Iran will determine the success of his tenure. Ultimately, the legacy of Ebrahim Raisi will be shaped by his ability to balance the competing demands of ideology and pragmatism, of domestic stability and international assertiveness. Whether he can steer Iran towards a path of greater prosperity and security, or whether his presidency will exacerbate the country's challenges, remains to be seen. The future of Iran under Raisi is yet to be written, but the decisions he makes today will cast a long shadow on the years to come.